We would always talk about America being like, it's kind of ghetto. And then you come to Europe and you're thinking, oh, it's so nice and beautiful and safer. And then you get robbed.
I don't know how you feel about America, but I feel torn. And I'm not American. I've not even been to America. I'm German, Polish. It's complicated. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is, growing up, America has been this great glorified thing. They had all the cool stuff, they made all the cool stuff, and everything, even politics, seemed so much cooler than hereabout. These days, though, it really seems like the tides have turned quite a little bit, since Americans do not only seem interested in visiting Europe, but actually in part even moving here permanently. And I'm wondering, why is that? So I thought it might actually be interesting to seek an outside perspective. The very first question that I have is like, why the f did you cut your hair? What is with continuity? We're trying to tell a story here.
I know.
Nico is from the US and he has family in Germany, and we know each other from Matt Diavella's Master YouTube course. And there were mainly two reasons I wanted to meet with him. One, he's an incredibly talented filmmaker, and it's always great to meet one of those. And two, he has not only visited, but lived in and around Europe for 6 months, which naturally opens up the question, why?
I guess there's like 3 real reasons why I'm here. The first one is to be with my family because they're really old. Another one is to learn German, a new language. And the third is, it sounds cliche, but just to like explore, I guess, what I'm capable of. Being cooped up in the pandemic, I really wanted to get out of that comfort zone.
What have been your reasons to choose Europe for traveling? I mean, if you just wanted to visit your family, you as well might have just come here for a few weeks.
Again, it's cliche. I mean, Europe is romanticized and it just seemed like a better life. Or better, but a different life. I feel like my life is one-sided, like I'm really just looking at it from one perspective, and I need to experience life from a whole other perspective to grow, to feel different about myself, to think differently, to become more creative, and that's why I really wanted to get out.
There's something interesting here. In Europe, we have, comparatively speaking, in quite close proximity, a lot of different cultures and landscapes all around us. A lot to explore, really. But, and this might make me sound like an idiot, for the longest time, I just wasn't aware. I, for some reason, grew up with the implicit desire to move out and beyond Europe because that's the real experience, that's real travel, not staying in Europe and exploring where you're coming from. Because, I don't know, prestige, social pressure, some kind of fallacy or bias nobody tells you about. Anywho. You already said romanticized, and obviously wherever we go, whatever we imagine, like our imagination and our expectations are always loaded. Mm-hmm. What did you expect from Europe?
Oh, my expectations were too high, probably.
Excuse me.
America right now is a little chaotic, and I just wanted to go into a place where I could feel at ease and not have to worry about like the environment around me. And I guess, yeah, a big thing that I expected was peace, but I also expected inspiration to strike me here, which is just, I don't know.
When you hear that, I feel it's only natural to ask, how is that different from America?
Oh, that is so difficult. It's like, I needed to slow down and I wanted to slow down, but as an American, you can't help but sit there and go, it's too fucking slow. I'd be sitting at the restaurant, and in America, they're trying to get you out of there. And here, I'm sitting there making eye contact with the waitress, you know, staring them down real hard, like, come to me. And they literally will not come to you unless you like yell for them. And it's just slow, like everybody chills and everybody, you know, takes their time to eat and to talk. I definitely realized they're like, I'm American, for sure.
There's something I think is very interesting about America, because in Europe it's very much like when you're asked, where are you from? It depends very much on your ethnicity, nationality, your heritage, that's where you're from. But there's something about being American that seems to not be bound by this. So, in your words, what does it mean to be American?
Oh man, in my words, this is gonna sound terrible, but for me personally, and maybe I'm speaking for some other people, it's giving you the chance to pave your own path and to individualize yourself. And that's why we're kind of known as being like really individual. We kind of do everything on our own. There's not that much of a sense of community, and it's because of that. But it also gives people a chance to do like really big, amazing things. And from the outside, that looks pretty damn cool sometimes.
This, exactly this. This is the whole premise of this video, the outside view. Culture very often is something that surrounds us, that is everywhere. It is like the air we breathe. We don't even think about it. Culture simply is. But what is it? There are two ways to find out, I think. One is deliberate research and study, hands down. Two is way more simple. It's traveling. And traveling naturally introduces a sense of romanticism and excitement. Everything you do while traveling is novel, it is new, it is different, and that in its very own way is romantic and it is exciting. But does that really mean that the grass really is always greener on the other side?
So let's see how it started. So the day started, we went on this adventure that I chose. This was actually my birthday present from my girlfriend. So we went out with this guy from Airbnb, took us on this like adventure. We're like swimming in the ocean, climbing up this rope and on rocks and everything. And it was really cool until we went to go eat at this local Spanish restaurant. I have a sensitive stomach, so I ate like a lot of oysters and then like really sweet things and a little bit of sangria. And then we're like driving on the mountain and I wasn't feeling so good. And so I threw up, and then I got back in the van, and then I threw up out the window. Then we were driving and I got out of the van and I projectile vomited off the mountain. And that's kind of just how it started. So it was a rough day. And then I lost my glasses because I was throwing up and it was coming out of my nose. So that day we just looked for my glasses on the side of a dangerous mountain road while cars were coming by for about an hour. And we were like, let's just go eat something real nice. Yeah, we leave for an hour. Then we get back, we drive home, and we're like, oh, all right, tomorrow's gonna be a better day. And we open the trunk, and it just kind of hits you like, we just got robbed. And then we go back in to the room and we start trying to figure out how to solve it. We're figuring out how to buy things because we know that in about a week after we get back, we're gonna go to Scotland, where my wallet got stolen, a lot of camera gear got stolen. We had no backpacks. So we just had to sit there and we didn't really get to enjoy it anymore. We just had to solve everything. And
I don't know if that says more about Europe than it says about traveling in general. Because yes, every time you open yourself up to novelty, you also open yourself up to uncertainty. It means letting go of control. And when you do that, it comes with the risk that sometimes something may go wrong. So traveling, in a way, turns us all back into children, tiptoeing, trying, and sometimes forcing to find our way around. But it also brings about all the good sides of it.
That's part of the adventure. I was thinking that in the moment, like when it was so bad, I was like, it's kind of cool. Like we got robbed. You know, this is part of the adventure. You know, you get to go home and say like, yeah, we got robbed in Spain. And you know, we had to go to IKEA and buy these like shitty little backpacks because we had to take our clothes home somehow. I don't know, it was just terrible. But at the same time, yeah, it was good. I'd never seen that side of my girlfriend before in my life. But I don't know, it tested you and it like showed a lot. And to like go through that together with somebody, those like bad experiences, then just become the best experiences because you went through that together. And you look back on it and you're like, you can almost laugh at it. Like it sucked so bad, but in hindsight, it's not that bad. And it's kind of just funny. Like it's a better story than the amazing thing. And it just sounds like you're not bragging, but you're like, yeah, in Europe, my life changed. I went to Switzerland and I was with the cows in the mountain in the Swiss Alps. Not to brag that I was in the Swiss Alps, but yeah, Switzerland was one of those places that look like an alien world. And you get up there and you're looking around and you feel like a kid again. It's like your video, like you're literally, it's the novelty. You look back at that memory and you remember getting off the gondola and just looking out and the cows' bells are ringing on their neck, and you're just like a kid smirking, happy that you're like on this adventure. Yeah.
How would you sum up your trip to Europe?
Oh. How would I sum up my time here? Oh man. It's like a sense of renewal. It's like being a kid again. Feeling like a kid again.
And I'm not sure if that's what Nico really meant, but being like a kid again reminds me of having the freedom to explore. And maybe even more important than that, the freedom to fail, to screw up and figure things out. And it might sound counterintuitive, but having the freedom to fail also opens you up to the experience that you actually are in control, that indeed you are able to handle situations and solve problems on your own. So it seems to be a pretty good idea to every now and then shake the chains of culture and throw yourself into a novel environment, which is free from the cultural and societal expectations we all grew up to obey. But that goes for Americans, as well as for Europeans, and probably for everyone.
I remember when I came here, I thought changing my environment would change everything. And you know it, but it's just not true. Like, most of it is internal. Like, the environment does make a difference. Like, I left with a sense of peace, a sense of calm. I learned how to slow down from Europe. That's something that we don't do in America. The cultural stuff, it did leave me with a sense of peace, and it did teach me how to slow down. Because in America, we go too fast. And my whole family was like, Nico, you need to slow the fuck down. Sorry. You need to slow the fuck down.
It's getting a little bit too dark.
It's like past blue hour now. It's like...
It's way past blue hour.
It's just dark. Yeah. It's just dark.